Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. All around you. I'm joined today with Lucy, the Tetris master of the United States. Do you still have that title?
Yes.
Nice. For how long have you had that title?
Since 2018.
Sick.
2008.
We just watched the Tetris movie, the 2023 Tetris movie, Apple exclusive.
It's an Apple exclusive?
We did not bootleg it. It sure is, yeah.
Oh.
Like Coda. Coda was Apple TV exclusive too.
Really?
I think that was the first streaming movie to ever win Movie of the Year at the Oscars. And yes, it was Apple TV.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Just came out a few weeks ago.
Like in April?
I think
Still
March
in April?
31st, I think is when it came out.
Basically
Directed
April.
by John, what's his name? Baird?
Baird?
Baird? Not sure. I'm not that familiar with his work. Not very extensive. I do kind of want to see the movie Filth that he did, 2013.
What's it about? Do you know?
No, I don't know what it's about, but it's got James McAvoy, and he's pretty cool. He's the guy in Split, with the split personalities.
Oh, our main dude?
The main dude, yeah.
Rejoice? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
that would be fun to watch.
He was a fun actor.
Yeah.
He's got wide range. It's a movie about Tetris. It's a lot of history there. Probably, if not the most important video game ever made, definitely in the pantheon of the probably top 5 most important, or pioneering video games.
Yeah.
Did you like the movie?
I love the movie. I liked it a lot. It was very fast-paced, which I'm always the fan of.
Yeah, it was 2 hours, and I did not get bored.
Mm-hmm.
This is the perfect movie for me to get bored in, because it's not super deep and not very character-driven. So
Yeah.
it's gonna test my tolerance on that level. But I did not get bored. I can confirm that.
Yeah,
2 hours.
I didn't know it was 2 hours.
I was impressed.
It was very fast paced. It was very action-y, There's no slow moments, not a lot of huge, character interactions and monologues and any of that kind of stuff to if it's not performed well and if it's not executed well, I already lost interest. So I like that it didn't have any of that. And Tetris is cool. It's a cool game. The background, the origin of Tetris, how it came to be, I guess. That's awesome. I didn't know any of this. I don't know how factual it is.
You didn't know any of it?
No, none of it.
You didn't know that Tetris was a Soviet Russia game?
I didn't even know Tetris was the word tetra, 4, and that each piece had 4. And he said it, and I was like, oh, it does. And then I had a major, dumb moment.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know if it was the combination of Tetra and tennis. I don't know if that's true.
If that's okay, but definitely at least the 4 blocks. It's like each one has 4, and I'm like, oh, it does.
Yeah,
I never thought about it, never paid attention.
That's funny.
So I knew nothing about Tetris historically background. I just know how to play it. So that was cool. It was cool to watch.
It was very cool to watch. Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about this movie, which really has nothing to do with this movie, is I would have preferred a much scarier existential perspective of Alexei. Because the real Alexei, I can't even imagine how scared he would have been. Even though we were at the tail end of, the Iron Curtain finally lifting, he didn't know that, For all he knew, things were on the precipice of getting much worse. But, maybe he knew more than...
I'm sorry, getting your kids threatened to be thrown out off a a building and
Yeah, but that was like
evacuating
sort of
your house wasn't enough. You wanted more.
I mean,
You wanted a punch to the
even
face.
before that, just inventing the game or designing the game, I imagine he was probably pretty scared for that to get out. And then remember they came to him when he was playing tennis that we've got your game's distracting a lot of our people, our Soviet people. Or for all we know, this was an intentional sabotage of our state
to our country. Yeah.
And I imagine that interaction, I could have seen that interaction in a much, more dramatic drama going in a really oh shit way. But it was, it didn't really go anywhere in that sense. It was just fun. They kind of, I appreciate the fun approach they took this because they make Russians look silly because there are, there's no doubt some silly practices that have come out of Russia in the last 200 years. And it's fun. It's funny too.
Yeah. I mean, some crazier moments with the Russians would have been okay. I mean, I don't think it was lacking.
No, and I think if they would have taken it too serious, it would have been a little bit of a mix of two tones because what's his name? Roger Hanks? Roger?
Hanks,
the main character?
Hanks Roger?
He wasn't a very serious character, he was very charismatic and like almost a little bit toned down, gentrified version of Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh. Yeah, Hank Rogers.
So we would have had that mix, but they kept the tone. They managed to keep the tone parallel to one another, the Russians versus the capitalists.
That's true.
Which I appreciate that from a filmmaking perspective. But just from a story perspective, I would have preferred the serious, dire, side of it. But take what I'm saying with a grain of salt because that's not what the movie was.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, some of my favorite scenes were the Russian scenes.
Yeah, probably me too. I mean, I liked a lot of the back and forth with that guy. What's his name? Belatov.
Yeah.
That him going back and forth and trying to get everything straight and stuff.
That was funny.
He's trying to operate in the best interest of the state. He's a proper Soviet, representative, and I liked a lot of that. What were some of your favorite parts?
I like that too. The like cat and mouse kind of cliffhangy kind of like wait right here and then runs off to the next room. I like that. And I like the Russians, the scary ones. I don't know how.
The KGB?
Know their names. Yeah, but the main KGB dude who's not very KGB.
Yeah, or maybe 2 KGB.
Or 2 KGB.
Working in his own self-interest.
I like him and how kind of threatening he is, but then he still wants the money for himself.
Yeah.
And then I like that bit where his bodyguard dude, like, I guess, I don't know how to say it. He like, went like this to to that guy.
He jumped at him.
Yeah, he jumped at him. And he's like, oh God. That was funny.
That main KGB guy reminded me of the main like Nazi commander guy from Jojo Rabbit. They had a similar kind of energy. You remember that?
I fell asleep during that movie. You barely started that movie. Oh my God. I was out.
That's a great movie. One of Taika Waititi's best.
Oh, another one, and I think this is probably on one of your favorites too, is the when he went to that hotel and the translators were like, translator? Like
that was awesome.
That was awesome.
That's gotta, I guess they
I wouldn't know how real that is.
That's gotta be real. That's just too specific,
Yeah, that was so funny.
Hank Roger must have been like, that just never left his mind how many people asked him if they needed a translator. That was awesome. Did you anticipate Sasha working for the KGB?
No. Talk about a plot twist within all the other plot twists.
I know, Russia's nothing but plot twists.
No. And then, you mentioned you were a little suspicious when she kissed him.
Oh, that sealed it in for me.
No,
I was suspicious
I
of
was
her.
just like, oh, she likes him.
Yeah.
He found him charming and American and all that stuff.
I thought it was going to be told right then and there by a photograph, which wouldn't confirm it exactly that Sasha was in, she was part of the KGB, but it would have told me, yes, she is. Because I thought they were going to kiss, and then we're going to get a window shot, and then a camera shot, and it's going to be a still, And that would have confirmed it in my head right then that, yes, she's working with KGB. But then it got confirmed like 10 minutes later. And then we see the
photograph.
And so it happened in a different order.
No, if there would have been a photograph, I just would have been like, oh no,
oh, shit, someone saw.
They got caught.
Yeah.
And then, Alexei drove him, and then he's like, don't trust everyone, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
And she's there, and I'm like, oh no, I liked her.
Yeah.
But then she kind of redeemed herself.
She sure did.
With me.
Yeah. No, because she was more like, what's the guy's name again?
Belikov.
She was kind of more in line with him, where she wanted, to support her state.
She was just looking out, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can support that. I can get behind that. You doing what you did for him. So she won me back a little bit, but did not see it coming. No.
That was fun though. That was fun. I liked her character and stuff. And
I did too. I think I liked most of the characters, really. I don't think there was anyone that was, all the characters and their performances. I don't think there was one that was speaking to me like, oh, this guy could have picked up the energy level.
Yeah, they were all pretty even, weren't they? I guess that little Dr. Stein or Mr. Steinweber, that little guy with the glasses, the bald guy. I think his performance maybe stuck out a little bit just because of he's just this, he's this little ball of energy. He had a lot of outburst scenes and stuff, and so that kind of stuck out to me. I liked him. Yeah,
maybe Thomas. Is that his name? Thomas or Kevin?
Kevin was the son.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Thomas from The Whale. How he lacked his performance. That's just in my head right now. But yeah, Kevin. I think maybe if I had to pick one, he would be, one of the, okay.
Yeah, but that also might be a mark of a good performance because he was kind of this in over his head son. And so maybe
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I liked that his dad was broke too.
Yes.
He had this $1 billion company and no money to spend, and he apparently stole.
Yeah.
It said at the end of the movie, I don't know how true it is, but apparently he stole $900 million or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's cool.
When they always play those end of the scenes movie,
yeah, you can't trust them.
I always trust them.
Yeah.
Should I not? I always trust them. I'm like, okay.
I don't know.
All right. This is the facts right here.
Because it's no harm in trusting them. There is no harm in trusting them.
Oh, no.
Sure, but it's just one of those things you gotta maybe cross-reference it in some capacity. And
oh my gosh, that's like the last thing I cross-reference.
I know, right? It's like when something says based on a true story or adapted from a true story or inspired by. It's like, I wonder how much, because like this, for example, in real life, even like Hank Rogers, him, I'm sure the exchanges he had over there in Russia were probably very scary.
Yeah.
He was not scared in this movie.
Yeah,
he felt very smartest guy in the room kind of energy, and which is cool. It's fun, but I imagine in real life that it was pretty scary. Especially because I think in real life he is Peruvian. He's a Peruvian-American guy.
Okay.
From Denmark. Denmark? I think he was born in Denmark of American and Peruvian parents, I think.
Okay. Wow.
So he does not look like pasty white. He looks, he's little olive skinned and stuff. Or blonde skin. I heard that word used earlier today. Blonde? I like that, yeah. Blonde, you like that? I like olive skin too,
like
though.
That.
No, you don't like that?
No.
Yeah.
Because blonde, like to me, I guess I just go to like a coffee reference, and a blonde coffee.
It's pretty white.
It's pretty white.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's true.
I don't know how
that's
I feel
a good
about
point.
That.
That's a good point. Well, I've got good news about. I keep forgetting his name. Mr.
Belikov?
Belikov.
Let me look it up.
I've studied a little bit of Russian. I should remember 5% better, but I'm an idiot. So,
hey, you're a Philistine.
He after the fall of the Soviet Union, he retained power over the Elorg.
Really?
He retained power over, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then in like 2005 or something, I can't remember exactly. He sold it to Hank Rogers and Alexei for $12 million.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I'm surprised it had any value at all, to be honest. But
That's awesome.
It's kind of a happy ending
Yeah.
for them. It's definitely a happy ending for Alexei. He only became arguably one of the most important people in video games ever.
And the whole time watching the movie, it's kind of like hopes up, hopes, and then let down. And it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
like you're rooting for him.
Yeah.
And, the thing with his dad, and then he gets kicked out of his family home, and then I'm like, this guy, I mean, he's not gonna get any recognition for any of this.
Yeah. One thing I do like about this movie from the Russian perspective is we got a lot of Russians are kind of silly and unorganized on one level, but we also got the Russian, some Russians are really tough and bad, but we also got that not all Russians are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Belikov and Sasha were decent human beings looking out for the good of their people, and there wasn't really kind of anything that they were trying to take advantage of. They were just looking out for the state. And I gotta appreciate that on one level, because most people in Russia, most people in Saudi Arabia, whatever country you want to target that's maybe got evil tendencies, most of the people are there. Most people there are not. They're good natured.
A lot of the people in the film, a lot of the Russians in the film were good.
Yeah.
I mean, there was really only one bad guy in my eyes.
Which is kind of surprising, I would say. Especially from a movie that takes place mostly in Soviet Russia in the 80s.
Right.
So that's fun.
So, yeah, I guess I didn't think about that, but...
One of the worst guys was the guy from London, the dad, the rich dad. He was one of the worst guys there. Two. Do you have any history? I guess I did say you were a master of Tetris, but what is your history playing Tetris?
So, I've always remembered playing Tetris at some point in some form.
Yeah, it's been around.
It's been around. Yeah, around forever. So it's
probably 40 different iterations at this point.
Holy crap!
I would imagine.
Yeah. But I mean, it's there in the back of my mind playing it. Don't have any specifics on where. I remember growing up, we had a lot of arcade or I guess my mom took us to arcades a lot. I still have some like old arcade coins in my piggy bank, and that was a lot of weekends with me, my brother, and my sister. We would just go to arcades. There was one at the mall that shut down in Memphis that we used to go to a lot, and I guess I played there quite a bit. I mean, I'm sure we had it on some console, but my most recent experience with Tetris is Tetris 99, and I played it on the Switch, and that was fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah. Who would have thought Tetris in a battle royale setting
I know
makes sense, but I can't think of a game that's better fitted for that. Like, oh my god, like that I need to watch that. That sounds fun.
It was so much fun, and I would take it to work and play during my lunch breaks. Like I got kind of addicted there for a minute, just playing whenever I could, when in the bathtub. Like, it was so much fun. Maybe I should get a Switch again.
just to play
Tetris 99. But
that's funny. You have to get the new Pokemon too. Have you played Tetris Effect? That's like the real big one recently. The last couple of years.
So
I'm not sure what separates it from the others, but yeah. Have you played Dr. Mario?
Dr. Mario?
Yeah.
I don't think I've played Dr.
Mario. It's kind of a Mario interpretation of Tetris.
No, I don't even think I've heard of that.
You've heard of Dr. Mario though, right? From Smash Brothers?
No. Dr. Mario? He's a doctor now?
Dude, Mario's had every profession. He's a basketball
He's a
player.
Barbie?
He's a Barbie. Yeah, he's basically Barbie's soulmate. That's a funny thing.
I didn't know this about Mario. I thought he was just,
He's a plumber. He's a hero. He's a
doctor, apparently.
A doctor, a golfer, a tennis player, an Olympic star. He's a cook.
A cook?
Yeah.
There's a cooking Mario?
He's a construction worker, kind of, right? You make Mario levels and Mario Maker?
No. Too far.
Too far. Okay.
Too far.
Yeah, man, I don't know. He's done a lot of stuff. He's a astronaut. He's takes vacations. He's been in jail.
In jail?
Yeah, he went to jail at the very beginning of Mario Sunshine.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I completely underestimated Mario.
Dude, Mario is full of surprises. Yeah, I don't have a lot of history playing Tetris. I gotta be honest.
Oh.
I appreciate Tetris, and I understand that it's got a real kind of chess energy. Obviously, not as sophisticated as something
Right.
like chess, but it's got
Can be.
on some level maybe. Yeah.
Tetris 99. Just saying.
I mean, that's fair. That's
Just
like
saying.
that tests your mettle right there.
Heck
That's
yeah, it
that's
does.
good stuff. Tetris 99. That's good stuff. But I do appreciate just the level of pure 100% just play and mastery.
And
It's amazing.
that's also one of my favorite scenes in the film when Alexei invites him over for dinner and he shows him like the first prototype or whatever, and then he's like, they're like gushing over Tetris, and they're like, well, what if, why didn't you think of it to delete more than one line? He's like, I didn't think about it. He's like, okay, let's do it. And they're just like,
And he did it.
and he
right
did
in front
it.
of him. That
Yeah,
was very cool. Yeah.
that was awesome. So it kind of makes me think of like the fun you can have with it.
It was funny watching the Russians try to strike a deal with a capitalistic West and apparently not understanding the level of detail you need to define what objects are, what properties are and
Yes.
stuff. And I thought that was really funny.
It's so clever. Is that just us Americans?
I
that
think
are like,
I think it's a product of greed and wanting to own an idea. And so we need this rule set to be able to define all of that. And for the most part, you can kind of you can get the rights of whatever you want, with the exception of words like Monster Energy. They're suing, or they're giving out a lot of cease and desists for people using the word monster,
oh my gosh,
which is just complete nonsense.
yeah.
Unfortunately, some of these companies that they're fucking with, like Capcom, who makes Monster Hunter, is like, we're good. We're good. We're not changing our name Monster Hunter, okay?
Yeah, screw you guys. But it gives me like such like, they call lawyers like sharks and like just so vicious, like, such a small word, keyboard, but it's so important.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's crazy. You had to think about everything in these contracts.
Yeah. It brings like a weird science to it.
Yeah.
That's
it really
it's
does.
not really that scientific, but it's sort of is on one level. It's kind of crazy.
And like you saying that makes me think about audits when we have audits at work, and
Yeah.
just one word you forgot to put in this report or in this, whatever. One word, the auditor can get your ass.
Yeah.
Or you mention one thing you were just not supposed to mention. They can get you. And now you have a nonconformance and you have to write all these things on why you said this one word.
Yeah.
And now the company has to report that it's not perfect because of this one word. It's like, God damn.
That's funny. That's exactly like.
And it's a science. It is.
Absolutely. Just it needs to be a science for that kind of science. Like, it needs to be a name for it. Just the science of
words.
Science of documents.
Documents.
Companies all over the place, they try to patent ideas, and a lot of them get rejected because they're too general. But can you imagine? Because a lot of these companies sure are probably just trying to throw ideas at a board and see what sticks and see what they can get the rights of.
Well, I like that, the sneaky stuff, the vicious stuff. It's like,
it's cool. It makes you stay on your toes.
Yeah.
And I like that they basically made Mr. Stein a sign. Because he's the only real character we got that was scared on any level. He was pretty scared.
He was pretty scared.
We needed more of that, I think. Not really, I guess. For the sake of the tone of the movie, we landed on our feet. We would have stumbled a little bit if we mixed those two up.
And I mean, they said that he was the one going around buying stuff from Russia, right?
Yeah.
He like went in and bought other games or whatever.
Yeah, and I guess you could argue maybe he was taking advantage of a lack of vocabulary they have for their legal documents. But at the same time, he's doing what anyone else would do that's trying to make money, and he sees these very general definitions of this stuff and is like, oh my god, this applies to so much. He's thinking he just hit the jackpot with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I mean, yes, he's probably thinking, yeah, this should probably be more well defined, but it's not, you know. And it's like he's not going to tell, or a Soviet officer or Soviet commander, whatever. He's not going to tell these people that they need the one, probably because he's scared of them, and two, that means he's going to have to, you know, renegotiate and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because I can only imagine. I wouldn't say anything either, just because would be so scared of them. You know, it's like I don't want to correct the Soviet Union. You know,
let me just take this
on
right
an individual basis at least. I don't want. You know, I don't want. I'm in Russia. You know, I don't.
That's fair.
So, like, which makes, you know, Hank's energy kind of that much more fun because it was his place, man. He walked in there and owned the place immediately. And then it's just kind of funny that he was on one level sympathizing, helping the Russians to get their due, you know?
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That was cool.
That's cool. You know, because there's not really a bad guy here, so there's no need for the taking advantage of one another. Everyone can win. You know, little did they know that, you know, Tetris would only go on to be, if you include every iteration, it's the most sold video game of all time. So, I mean, Belikov, was that his name? Belikov? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Belikov.
I mean, I assume he benefited even after the licensing deals because of just how much it blew up. I don't know. Well, I guess, yeah, royalties. He got like 50 cents? Or what was it?
It went up to $1. That's crazy.
Yeah, he probably became... At the time, in the 90s, he probably became among the wealthiest Russians.
Holy crap.
He probably left Russia. What that ended up looking like. But that was cool, yeah. Hank got Alexei over in San Francisco at the right time, too. During the boom of video games in San Francisco and Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's like kind of like a faith in humanity restored kind of moment.
Yeah,
like,
especially through a businessman's lens.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, when the movie started with that voiceover, it's very Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like, oh no, you know, getting this kind of energy. You know, Jordan's not a good person, so I thought we might get a little more scumminess out of this guy, but nope. He's pretty good-hearted.
Yeah.
I mean, even his like crib, and I guess you can't have too big of a house in Japan, in most places in Japan, because it's pretty populated, so it's hard to have mega structures. But it's pretty humble, his house. Yeah. So, and his kids went to public school, look like, and although we didn't get a lot of them, they were just supporting pieces, weren't they? Yeah. For him, I guess his wife did run his other company probably when he was gone. She was a finance officer, I think. Yeah, they were just there for the Russians to threaten. Basically, yeah. At the end of it, yeah. And then for him to feel guilty that he missed his daughter's concert. Yeah. Yeah, the concert probably wasn't even there in real life. I wonder if they threatened him in real life. They probably did. It's probably much scarier in real life. Oh my gosh. They probably cut off someone's finger or something. Speaking of that, what did you think of... You brought it up. There's the mean Russian dude holding, you know, sort of threatening the kids about gravity. That was fun, right? That was because of the Tetris and then them falling. Oh my goodness. Is that what they were thinking when they did that? Because that's kind of silly. That's hilarious if that's what they were thinking. And awesome. That's what made me kind of think. That's cool. I didn't think about that, but that's cool. All right. What about the music? The music? Specifically I don't know what it's called. The hero song. The hero song, the Shrek song. And the Shrek one we hero just song. Heard in was it in Russian? Mario. I seriously thought it was in a different language, but I couldn't tell. It was really in the background of the soundtrack, for sure. I think it was in a different language. It was, because I was trying to sing it in my head, and the words weren't like quite matching, so I'm like, okay, it's definitely a different language. Yeah, it was just in Mario, too. That's correct. Yeah. You sure? I don't know. No, I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. I feel like it was. But I think it was. That's funny. That's funny that popped up twice. And then that other song that they played when they were in that kind of club setting, Final Countdown. That's right. I like that. I thought that was kind of cheesy and cute. That is cheesy and cute. Because it's like fun. The final countdown to the
fall of whatever, That's what they were hoping for.
It's funny. I thought it was kind of funny, too, how quick the Soviets were to admit that the Soviet Union is collapsing, especially Gorovich. I was like, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I think they'd be all, even though he's, kind of a hero to the Russians, modern Russians, I feel like they'd be pretty loath. Is that the word? Loath?
Loath?
Resistant?
No, I think loath is that to hate?
That's to loathe.
Loaf? A loaf? Like what Mabla does? He loaves?
Loaf. I don't know.
Turns into a loaf?
They'd be pretty resistant to admitting that the Soviets are dying,
out loud.
Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't happen.
That's funny.
And that just plays into the silly nature of it all.
Yeah,
the movie, which is fine. But I just thought it was right in key. It was right on key. That was fun.
Yeah, and we had a lot of the Stranger Things soundtrack. They probably borrowed.
That's right. Yeah, there's very
CDs there.
I don't know, what is that? It's like it's synthy, but it's just like it's like what I would imagine what the music would sound like in a skating rink in the 80s. That's the music I would feel.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it felt very Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Which there's a skating rink scene in Stranger Things season 3 or 4, whatever it is, the newest one, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't there? Isn't that where 11 is at?
Yeah, where 11...
She gets beat up or something?
No, but she breaks the girl's nose with the skate.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty brutal.
That was awesome. That was so brutal, but it was awesome.
That show's a little overrated.
You're a little overrated.
Speaking of overrated, Tetris has got really high scores. Not super high, but like higher than you'd expect for sure.
Okay, so you're telling me Super Mario Brothers got relatively
super low scores,
negative
critically speaking.
Yeah.
And pretty mid scores across most users' sites, except I think was it Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes that the user score was like 98%. It was like nuts. It was a total balance of a total equilibrium of reality, I guess, and a real reality check for the critics too, because that's one of those movies that I feel like it tests your level of your ability to have fun, and apparently critics are unable to have fun, and this kind of fits into that a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of liked across the board, users and critics, like quite a bit, and I was just a little surprised because it feels a little, if it's it's pretty good, but it's not it seems like a lot of people are giving it 8 out of 10 pluses.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like,
okay. I mean, I get it. It's Tetris. People love Tetris. It's kind of biopic, dramatic, funny. Nothing too serious.
Yeah.
People like that. But I'm kind of shocked. I liked it. 4 out of 5, maybe 3.5 out of 5, in that realm. I liked Mario more than this.
I liked Mario more than this too.
But wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on what people liked about it? Did you read any of that?
Yeah, people like the score quite a bit.
Okay.
Which I think people were just suckers for that type of score today.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe the combination of Stranger Things and lo-fi and stuff like that. Can't really speak on why people are liking it. I didn't read too much into that.
Okay.
But just got high numbers everywhere. I'm just like, that's a little strange. And that made me want to watch it more. I was like, oh, this must be really good. And then the fact that it wasn't very much about Alexei, I was like, oh, that's kind of unfortunate. But it was still it was coming from that perspective. I feel like I can only really speak really positively about it, because even though it had that hurdle to get over, like, oh, I wish this was about Alexei, it still won in my mind, like, as being a good success.
Yeah.
Nice, fun film. So I gotta normalize my perspective on the matter, I guess.
Well, it's surprising, but it's not surprising. It's surprising because people just like to hate on everything, especially people hating on Mario that much. Kind of made me.
That was weird.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, we're just being extra critical. All these critics are being extra critical But then this, oh, I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but all right, whatever. But I liked, how colorful everything was, especially in those, what do you call that? Like video game pixel-ish little transitions where they had level 1 as like the first act and then level 2,
Yeah.
I like
That's kind of a
those.
trend, isn't it? That chapter-oriented storytelling.
Is
It's kind
it?
of a trend recently. I feel like, I feel like even mainstream movies like this have
Where
been
else
kind of
did we
doing
see
that.
it?
Well, the first movie that comes to my mind is The Northman, which is that
Mm.
mainstream? Kind of,
No.
not really. Yeah, okay.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't take my word on that. But
I don't think
I
Robert
think
Eager
so.
is. What's his name? Robert Egger. He's border. I don't know. Is he mainstream? I don't fucking know.
I guess I see it more in TV shows than movies. But yeah, I like those little, figures, transitions. I'm trying to think of where all they were besides those like chapter introduction or
Yeah, when
act
they
introductions.
it would often be like part of the transition that when they'd go to a new scene, like the building would be pixelated or whatever you want to call it. I guess it is literally pixelated and then it'd go away.
Yeah.
That reminded me of Burn After Reading for some reason.
Did I watch that?
Yeah, where Brad Pitt and Linda McDonald, is that her name? Linda McDonald. Work at a gym and
Oh. Yes, I watched that. I like that one.
That movie's awesome. The movie's awesome. Coen Brothers are awesome. That's probably my favorite Brad Pitt movie.
It gave me kind of like Puss in Boots vibes when they kind of did that animation, like 2D animation in Puss in Boots. You remember that?
Yeah, they would animate on twos or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave it a different,
However you call that.
Gave it a different style in
Mhm.
between, different scenes and stuff. Yeah, that was very cool. That's kind of trendy too right now.
Yeah.
That specific thing. I think Sony's Spider-Man movie, what's it called? Enter the Spideyverse or something like that. Into the Spider-Verse. The animated one.
Yeah.
With Miles Morales.
Yeah.
They really made that kind of mainstream.
But don't they have that throughout that whole movie? They go in and out?
Where?
I don't know. I fell asleep during that one too.
Well, that in that specific movie, specific assets and characters are animated different than like in the background. It's very cool. It's very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should probably rewatch
That movie's
that one
sick.
too.
Yeah, especially on an animation point. That movie is nuts.
I think I watched like the first 20 minutes and I was instantly bored and just fell asleep.
Oh man, I like Miles more than Peter Parker. Peter Parker. But we don't have a proper Miles yet, and I hope we do at some point with the live action stuff.
Yeah.
But I like Tom Holland and all, and I love Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, you're an Andrew Garfield fan.
And another guy,
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Love him. He's cool too. I do like Andrew the best. Those movies are the worst, but I like him. I like his characters. I like his acting. He's a cool guy. But yeah, a proper Miles Morales would be very cool. I don't know who would play him. Hopefully not Justice Smith.
He's young, right?
Yeah, he's generally
like
younger.
young.
But I could think he's usually younger than Peter. But if we get a proper Miles live action, there's a good chance that he's going to be similar in age with Tom Holland. Because, Tom Holland looks like he's like 15.
He looks so young, yeah.
So and that's, Miles is like 15, 16, 17. So I don't know how that's going to work. And they've already introduced the multiverse thing. So maybe we get an older Miles. That'd be cool. I don't know if that's ever been done. I'm not a big Spider-Man comic person, but
no, neither.
That might be cool if we get the kind of role reverse
Yeah.
there. That would be cool. I don't know who could possibly play that character, but
Yeah, I guess I don't know Miles enough to know what kind of, is he funny? Is he just a angsty teen? What?
yeah, I can't speak on Miles. I really can't. All I really know is he's half black, half Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
And his dad is a cop in New York.
Well, I just hope they don't make him a girl. Mila Morales.
Well, we had a girl in I think we had a girl in the animated Spider-Man movie we were just talking about. Entered the Spideyverse, whatever. Because it's all about the multiverse and there's like all kinds of different Spider-Man
Oh, there was
stuff.
a girl in there.
Yeah,
I
which
mean,
that makes sense
yeah.
when you're bringing up the multiverse. You got to kind of have that variety. But
Yeah.
how do we get on this topic? Oh yeah, the animation of those movies.
Right.
What else? What did you think about the apartments having those numbers on them?
That was awesome.
You like that? How
Yeah.
dystopian.
It's like, C, and then you see a giant 16.
I know. Apartments now should have that, because you're like, what number is that? You know, when you're trying to find your apartment if you're getting delivering something.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I can't tell that's building D, and it's like, it's only like a 4x4 sticker on the fucking middle of the door, or middle of the wall.
I loved it so much.
Yeah, and those 16, 17, those numbers were, I don't know, 20 feet high.
Or more.
8 feet long, you know.
I love them. I was like, is that a giant 16 next to a number? Next
funny.
to the building.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, speaking of, those big buildings, do you know if this was filmed in Russia or where it was filmed?
This was definitely not filmed in Russia.
Okay,
I don't know, but I'm not sure. I feel like a lot of it was CG, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I'm not too sure about that, but a lot of it felt CG.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think any of this was filmed in Russia, if I had to guess, but I cannot say. And I guarantee you this movie was not released in Russia. Guarantee you. The Russians would be like, or the Soviet sympathizers, I should say. Not the Russians, proper.
Yeah. Okay.
They would be like, they make us look soft.
I would have thrown that child out the window in a heartbeat.
Would have thrown Alexei too.
Yeah, I was just thinking about where it was filmed, because there's a lot of back and forth. You know, he goes to London to speak to the Maxwells, and then he goes to Russia, and then he goes to Japan, and then LA. And I'm like, okay, where did they film? I mean, I'm sure they didn't go to all those places.
No,
but
no.
I mean, I don't know. Do films typically do that if they're going somewhere? Unless there's probably like an iconic.
They might.
You know, like if there's an Eiffel Tower scene, you're probably filming in Paris.
Yeah, they might. It depends. It just depends on budget and stuff. Yeah, it just totally depends. Depends on your relationship. If I had to guess, this was probably all filmed in one place.
Okay.
And most of it was probably a studio. Like, I think when they were driving, I think all of that might have been CG.
Oh.
Green screened on some level. And I feel like, especially like when we got those top views of those cars, I think that was CG completely. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to tell when they put that like tungsten filter over it sometimes, because especially in the Soviet times when it was so gray, it's hard to tell. It's not a lot of color, I guess. It's hard to differentiate. It's hard. It obscures the CG a little better to me. I'm not great at identifying it though.
Did the clouds part when
the Soviets dissolved? Yeah, it finally shined in Russia.
And there were a lot of office scenes, so I guess that's easy to, make quick little sets.
Yeah, so. I don't know about quick, but yeah, sets. Yeah, Gorovich. That Mark and Gorovich's head.
Who?
Gorovich. What's his name?
Yeah, that guy. I don't know.
Yeah, that Mark's from when he left Russia and the sunlight hit his head and it seared him. So his head had never seen the sunlight like that, and so it scarred him for life.
Hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Because it's gray in Russia.
I guess you don't need sunscreen in Russia.
Nope.
I like this film.
Would you watch it again?
Would I watch it again? Maybe if I was trying to convince someone to watch it.
You'd recommend it?
I'd recommend it.
Is it going to be nominated for anything?
No. I mean, all these, positive reviews.
That's what I was going to say. Is it's
makes me think differently.
Yeah. I would say no, but those reviews say otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a little okay.
Yeah.
Man, this new John Wick is getting crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. If this I don't know if any other John Wicks have been nominated, but if this John Wick doesn't get nominated, people are gonna have a cow.
Oh my gosh, we need to watch it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's like on Letterboxd, it's nothing but 4s, 4.5s, and 5s.
Whoa.
Nothing but them. I'm like, whoa. That's like collectively, not number wise, it's like a 4.6 or something, 4.5 average. But that top echelon, I don't think I've ever seen so many scores side by side like that.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I would say no too, but then we have these ratings, so maybe. I guess it depends on how well these other ones do.
Have you seen The Kingsman? Have you seen those movies?
No.
The main guy is from... That's probably his most famous series.
Young...
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from the Kingsman franchise.
No.
The first one's cool of those. The other ones are...
Yeah, I've never seen
mid.
that. Is that a TV show or a movie?
I don't know if it's a TV show, but it's a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Series of movies. 3 movies, I think. 3 or 4
Never
movies.
seen them. If I have, I don't remember them.
They're fun. I wouldn't recommend them, but they're fun. They're fun. Maybe one day. Do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Go watch it. It's fun. Fun little 2-hour movie. Grab some friends.
Grab some popcorn. Throw it at the TV.
No, don't throw it at the TV. It's not that kind of movie.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you want to, I guess. Then feel free. But, yep, those are my final thoughts. Go watch it. Fun movie. Very fast paced. You won't be bored.
Yeah. I didn't get bored.
Yeah.
I get kind of bored with movies.
Yeah.
You get bored with movies?
Oh, I get bored quicker than you, I think.
Yeah, I
Unless
at least
you just don't show it. But I'm quick to show it. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I don't show. I'll sit through a bored movie.
I won't.
A bored
A bored movie?
Boardening.
Boardening?
Is that a verb?
I
Yeah,
don't
I'll
know.
sit through a movie that makes me suffer.
No, I don't know if I could.
I have a lot of tolerance and patience,
No tolerance, no patience.
especially
yeah.
for something that's well liked, pretty much universally. And I'm like, like Citizen Kane. I'm gonna try. So at some point, I'm really gonna try, but I can already tell you, I'm gonna be
No.
bored out of my mind. I've watched enough Alfred Hitchcock to know.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh. Yeah.
The
no.
Birds might have been a classic, or might be a classic in a pioneering horror film, but The Birds is one of the most boring movies.
Oh my gosh. Like when we started Psycho, I couldn't even watch the first 5 minutes. I was
Psycho.
over it.
The original Psycho?
Yeah.
You tried to watch the original Psycho?
You tried to make me watch it a long time ago.
I think that was American Psycho.
Is it American Psycho? Was it in black and white? It was in black and white.
It was in black and white?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it was probably Psycho then.
Yeah, it was
okay.
during my Norman Bates era. What
Bates Motel?
Bates Motel.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. It was a while back.
That's
and-
Alfred Hitchcock too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't.
Classic
5 minutes
film.
in. Oof. Rough.
Redefining, genres. Or defining the genres, I guess.
Well, good
yeah.
thing it already defined them, because.
Yeah, it's one of those things, these kinds of influential, works of art, no doubt, and important pieces of history to the medium remind me of things like Super Mario Brothers, or, what am I saying? Mario 64.
Oh.
Where, for one, you got to place your mind in that time to fully appreciate it.
Right.
But I should say, if you didn't grow up in that time, if you weren't there to experience it firsthand, it's just not going to come across like it should.
Yeah.
And it's just not something people should go back to if they never were there to begin with, I feel like. Although
they could try, but
you can also be mature enough to understand, So I guess it's just a partial me problem, but Mario 64 sucks.
Yeah, that's like with some of like the great American classic, books.
Of course,
And-
especially American.
Yes.
Oh my god,
like,
especially American.
You know how I feel about Grapes of Wrath.
Trash.
Oh my god, I can't.
Trash.
There's little books.
How about less that shit and more, I don't know, William Faulkner. Let's get some
Yeah, I mean, anything really is better
some
than
real
that
fucking
shit.
artists here. Less Fitzgerald, more Faulkner.
Because
Okay.
with books, I'm more like you are with films. Like, I'll get through it. It's
No
it's
fucking
good enough.
way am I gonna go through a
But
book.
Grapes of Wrath? I couldn't
Oh
make
my
it.
god.
And I've thought so many years, like, okay, just get it over with. But until I think you were like, you know what? It's okay if you don't. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not going to read that.
That's funny. No, fuck that book.
And
books,
it's like,
I guess I'm more like books with you than you are like films. If a book doesn't get me in 5 pages, unless it's I don't know, some kind of nonfiction piece I'm trying to get through. That's
right,
a little
right,
bit
right.
different.
That's different.
But yeah, I'm not. No way.
No, I'll do it with books.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
When I could not finish a book, it's rough. You were rough. There's another book that I read one time called Feed. That one was rough.
Yeah, I don't know about Feed.
Yeah, no, don't even worry about it. Just forget I even said it. Yeah, that book was rough.
Is that an older one? Is that a classic?
I think
quotes?
it's a sci-fi book, and I love sci-fi books.
Oh my god.
And it's just but yeah, I lost my train of thought. But I mean that's a good point. There's been several movies that we watched too that are classics that have made me feel like that.
Alien.
Carlito's Way, Alien. Oh my god, Alien.
The first Alien, yeah. Especially.
That was rough.
A remake of Alien could be sick.
Yes, agreed.
Sick.
Agreed.
But I can't place my mind in 1975, I think, 76, and appreciate it on that level.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I do on one level because I'm a mega fan of horror and cosmic horror, but the reality of it is the production just does not hold up.
I could not appreciate it on any level.
Sigourney Weaver is awesome. No one can take that away from her, but everything else just falls apart when time comes into play, you know?
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
That, because, you know, you'll say you'll suffer through
a movie. Yeah.
And the only way I'll suffer through a movie is when you tell me, hey, I need you to pay attention to this one. I'm like, okay.
I'll even suffer through those Netflix movies. What's that one we watched with Santa? Where I believe in Santa Claus?
Yeah. Oh my god, that was awful. That was awful.
Someone paid for that to happen. You realize that, right?
Oh my god.
Like it's kind of a funny thing. It's a little bit different than books too. Anyone can go write that book. An individual could write that book now and even get it published without anyone fucking reading it through Amazon Publishing.
That's true.
All right. At the most, you have a couple of editors that, you know, are standing in your way to get you, you know, for you to get in that published.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On fucking Amazon, or, you know, Amazon Video, Netflix, Disney, you have hundreds, maybe thousands of people working together, getting paid to make this train wreck. How does someone just be like, I don't know how this movie comes.
Why are we doing this? You know?
Yes. Because you're being paid to. All right. I expect great bonuses. But coming out of Netflix, you're not going to get them because they're falling apart at the seams.
Maybe people feel like they need to start somewhere.
There might be something to that. Yeah. Maybe it's a team of fucking interns.
A team of interns.
Is making I Believe in Santa. Or that Lindsay Lohan one.
Okay, the Lindsay Lohan one.
Not as bad.
Not as bad.
Definitely not
cried.
as bad.
Just saying.
That was more of a traditional
Christmas movie.
Yeah, Christmas, but like a Hallmark movie.
Okay.
It had the smallest amount of effort put into it.
Yeah.
But I Believe in Santa was just
that was bad.
Almost a high school production.
That was bad.
That was rough. But I'll sit through. If we ever get an audience, you guys are gonna help us pick movies.
Yeah.
You can make me suffer. Make me suffer. Yeah, Carlito's Way doesn't age super well.
No.
You know?
No.
Al Pacino I think that's who was in it, right? He always plays great characters. He plays the same characters, but he's a good typecast character, but that movie just doesn't hold up super well.
Yeah. We'll suffer through them. Give our best insight on movies.
Any more thoughts?
Nope. I'm thoughtless.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmsteins. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins signing off.
Bye.